Shirvan Speaks is brought to you by FitzGerald Financial Group, a division of TowneBank Mortgage. NMLS number 512138. Shirvan Joseph, our host, is NMLS registered. NMLS number 188513. The contents are for informational and educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors. Shirvan Joseph and FitzGerald Financial Group are equal housing lenders. This is not a commitment to lend. Enjoy.
Good morning and welcome to Shirvan Speaks. We have with us Nick Dourian, loan officer from our Rockville branch. Nick is going to be part of our continuing series and speaking to the voices of FitzGerald Financial and the mortgage life and what happens, how they make things happen and so forth. And we're talking about someone that has a wealth of experience. The knowledge is amazing and has dealt with just about every facet of the mortgage industry that you could imagine. So without further ado, I'm going to present you Nick. Good morning, Nick.
Good to see you, Shirvan.
So how long have you been in the mortgage business and how and why did you get in the industry?
So I'm in my 19th year now. In those 19 years, you see quite a few cycles.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
Real estate cycles or mortgage interest rate cycles, you see a bunch of these cycles.
Right.
And every single one of those cycles teaches you the lesson. So you create a portfolio of that knowledge base that you can better serve your very next client with. Because now you're armed with better information, better cycles, and so on. But the reason why I got in is I had just concluded my third purchase of a home at that time. And of course, a bunch of refinance.
To a certain
I
degree.
knew what the mortgage
Right.
business was
about.
like in
Right,
terms of
right.
I need your pay stubs.
Right.
What I did not like was I just felt like at the end of the day, I was brought down to a transaction. I was a
Right.
number.
Yeah.
So looking back, I thought there's got to be a better way to do this. And I knew I had good interaction skills with clients. So
Sure.
I thought, you know what, there's got to be a better way to do this. I used every single one of my experiences as the basis for which I can build and grow a redefining of what customer service means. Right. So that's really the reason why I got in, because I thought, if there's a better way to do this, what is that better way? I knew that there had to be a better way to do this, right? So because the experiences that I had left me desiring more.
Right.
So my goal then, once I got into the business, was I got to be more knowledgeable. I've got to be a fantastic resource for my clients.
Right.
And I've got to educate along the way, especially if they're first-time home buyers.
Sure.
It's that anxiety and stress that they
Right.
have that creates that a certain level of uncomfortableness, if you will, with the point. So once you educate them and you inform them and answer all their questions, they're relaxed and they can make better decisions.
Sure.
That's why I got it.
On several occasions, you've been nominated by the Washington Post as one of the area's top mortgage consultants. What drives you to achieve that status?
You know, if this mortgage thing doesn't work out for you, investigative journalism is up your alley. Okay, so I don't know what metrics the Washington Post shows, but they call you up and they say, hey, you've been nominated, and so on and so forth. So I think it goes back to one simple, very simple fact of life.
Right.
You can't fake being a good guy.
Yes.
Right. There's no switch on the wall that you can flick on and say, okay, 9 to 5, 9 to 6, I'm going to be a good guy just to get business. But I really don't want to do. You've got to be all in.
All in.
Right.
That's right.
So what do I mean by that? Well, somebody asks you a question. You've got to understand that there's a reason why that question is being asked. Whether that issue is causing them anxiety, whether they just want to know, you've got to be prepared to answer those questions.
100%.
So if you funnel all of these issues down to one common denominator, it's the word is service, but what does it mean to each of us, right? Service to me means knowledge, resourcefulness, understanding of loan guidelines. So you can answer those questions immediately. If you don't know, you better know where to go.
Right, correct.
So once you identify those things, you start developing those skill sets so that the next opportunity that comes up that requires that tool, that tool bag, you're prepared and ready to go.
With Nick, is what you see is what you get. You can't fake authenticity, particularly in the mortgage industry. You can't fake authenticity, and he's 100% real. I realize you originate all types of loans.
Yeah.
Do you specialize in a particular type of mortgage?
I was fortunate enough that when I first got into business, I built my business with that first-time home buyer. Now, over the course of 19 years, if you take a step back,
Sure.
that first-time home buyer, maybe they were in their 30s already.
Right,
Maybe
right,
they were in their 40s.
Sure.
Maybe they were just in their 20s.
sure.
That individual now has been a move-up buyer,
Mhm.
right? And maybe they even had kids that are now 25 years old. So,
Mhm.
um, the notion that what area of loans or what types of loans do I specialize in, I think that's sort of misleading because you got to be knowledgeable
Yes.
about everything.
Couldn't agree more.
The government loans, FHA, VA loans, those really haven't changed.
No.
God knows how, certainly not since I've been
No,
in this, right?
I agree.
So those haven't changed.
Right.
Conforming conventional loans, those kind of tweak a little bit here and there, especially based on credit score and so on. The jumbo loans, that's a unique animal.
Right.
Because each and every institution that's issuing that mortgage that we are originating on their behalf,
Right.
that they're going to take over the servicing for, they can have different guidelines.
Mm.
And if you have, in this area, they've raised the loan limit for
Yes.
for conforming loans to 1.1 million,
That's
right?
right.
So that's the average home price these days is just so astronomical that
Yeah.
most loans can fall into the jumbo
Sure,
category.
sure.
So you've got to know each individual loan guideline for each of
Mhm.
these investors, because if you have a particular borrower that has a specific need,
Mhm.
that's not going to fit
Correct.
in the particular investor's box.
No,
It's
no,
gonna
very
fit in
true.
this box. So
Sure.
you need to specialize in all loans.
Right.
But more importantly, Shirvan, I mean
Mhm.
this sincerely,
Sure.
you got to know where to go.
Right.
You don't know the answer.
That's right.
And you got to get it clear.
Why are you and the FitzGerald Financial Group such a perfect fit for each other? I
Good
mean,
old Danny.
go back, it starts and ends
It's a
with
common
Dan
denominator.
FitzGerald.
I got to give you some anecdotal story here. So
Right.
when I was a detective in Los Angeles,
That's his previous life.
from my law enforcement days, I always believed that I was only as good as the resources you have. If you don't have great partners that are willing to
Right.
do little things for you, if you're too bogged down and busy on something, it's the same thing here.
Right.
Okay. So I want to soar like an eagle,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I don't want to fly with a bunch of turkeys.
That's right.
Now, although the client never sees who's behind me,
Mhm.
the fact is my process,
Oh,
my
behind the
closer,
scenes.
my underwriters,
Support,
everyone
support,
is
support.
flying with me
Sure.
as a team of eagles.
I like
a
that.
group of
I like
eagles.
that.
So you can't be X when the environment you work in is Y. There's no
Mhm.
congruence there,
Mhm.
right? So you have to work in a platform where your skill sets can shine.
Yes.
They can be present and forward. And I think this platform here does that. Furthermore, and to Danny's credit, this industry has gone through so many trying times in
Yes.
recent years.
Yes.
I think he has done an incredible job of having his ear to the ground,
Sure.
identifying where the opportunities are, but more
Mhm.
importantly, because in the time of challenging times, you have to identify where the risk is.
Oh, yes.
right?
Well said.
Growth is one thing, managing
Managing
risk
risk is a whole nother,
So
and that
I
takes
think
a certain type of individual and group.
risk management
Right.
and appetite for growth
Yeah.
oftentimes are two
Yeah.
very
Very
different things,
correct.
and not everybody can have both.
That's very true.
Right? So I think
Very
we're
true.
fortunate to have somebody like Danny who can handle all that.
Before I let you go, our mantra is,
I love my job.
I love my job.
Yeah.
And I can't thank Nick Dourian enough. This is the real deal. Thank you.
Appreciate
Appreciate
you,
you.
sir. My
Always.
pleasure.
My pleasure as
Thank you.
well.